The film opens with a chaotic morning scene in a crowded house highlighting the close quarters and constant demand for a shared bathroom. A young man, Moko, is trying to get ready for his thesis defense but is constantly interrupted by his siblings and nieces and nephews. His sister Agnes is pregnant and clearly stressed, and the household dynamic is a mix of playful banter and underlying tension. Moko's girlfriend Morin arrives and gives him new glasses, encouraging him and reminding him of their shared dream of starting their own architectural firm after they both complete graduate school. She is confident in his abilities, but Moko is nervous about his thesis defense. As Moko is in his defense, tragedy strikes. Agnes calls Morin to tell her that Moko's father at Mo has had a heart attack and is being taken to the hospital. At the hospital, the family is in a state of panic. Agnes, Moko's sister, goes into labor and gives birth to a baby girl, Ima. However, Agnes dies from internal bleeding shortly after childbirth, leaving Moko, his two younger siblings Wako and Ano, and his older sister Osa to care for the 4 children, including the new baby Ima. Moko, who was just on the cusp of his career, is forced to abandon his plans for graduate school to become the primary caretaker for his family. The film shows how Moko's life is completely altered as he sacrifices his dreams to raise his siblings and baby niece. Moko's new reality is a constant struggle. He works odd jobs and freelance architectural drafting, but his commitments to his family often get in the way. He is shown trying to work on a draft while his baby niece cries uncontrollably, forcing him to stop. This leads to him being fired from a drafting job for being late. The immense pressure and his inability to pursue his career lead to a difficult phone call with Morin, during which he breaks up with her, believing that his new responsibilities make their shared dreams impossible. He feels that he is a burden and that she will be held back if she stays with him. Morin tries to argue and says she is willing to take on the responsibility, but Moko insists that they break up. He is heartbroken but resolute, believing it's the only realistic choice. The film follows Moko as he takes on the full responsibility of being a father figure to his siblings and niece. He goes from being a young ambitious graduate to a man burdened by financial worries and the daily grind of raising a family. The children Ima, Nina, Wako and Ano are also struggling with the new family dynamic. Wako, who had dreams of going to law school, is forced to get a job as a driver to help pay for Nina's college education. Nina, a student, is going through her own struggles with a difficult breakup. Ano, the youngest, is also shown to have a stomachache after eating too much junk food, further adding to Moko's worries and expenses. Moko is barely making ends meet, and the household struggles to pay for even basic necessities like electricity. A surprise arrival changes the family's dynamic when Moko's old piano teacher brings his daughter Gadis, nicknamed Ace, to Moko's home, asking him to take care of her for a month. He says he will be back for her but doesn't give a clear reason for leaving. Moko, initially hesitant due to his financial struggles, reluctantly agrees. Ace quickly becomes an invaluable member of the family, helping with household chores and the children, and her presence brings a sense of much-needed stability and joy. She cooks, cleans, and even helps Moko with his work. The film continues to show Moko's determination to provide for his family. He finds a glimmer of hope when he is offered a chance to be interviewed for a junior architect position at a reputable firm, thanks to Morin's secret efforts to get him the opportunity. During his interview, Moko's honesty about the 2-year gap in his resume, explaining that he was raising his niece, impresses the interviewer. He is given an architectural design assignment to complete at home as part of the evaluation. Moko's old slow laptop makes the task difficult and he struggles to meet the deadline. His struggles are made worse when Ano becomes sick with enteritis and Moko is forced to spend all his money on hospital bills. The financial burden is so severe that he has to cancel a planned purchase of a new laptop. However, the family rallies around him. Wako helps by working as a driver, and Ano, even while sick, expresses his love and appreciation for Moko, making him promise to not tell him when he gets sick next so Moko doesn't have to worry about the cost. Ace and Morin also pitch in. Ace makes coffee to help Moko stay up all night, and Morin secretly sends him a flash drive containing a completed design. Moko realizes that he is not alone and that his family and Morin are willing to sacrifice for him. Moko finds himself back in the front room, sleeping on the floor with his niece Ima, while his older sister Osa and her husband Eka have taken over his old room. Moko feels a strange mix of relief and guilt, realizing that he can finally have his own life, a life he had sacrificed for 2 years. He confides in Morin, who reassures him that it's okay to prioritize himself. She understands his struggle and reveals her own guilt for feeling like his priority wasn't her but the children. The conversation ends with Morin suggesting they all take a vacation to a resort she has vouchers for, which also doubles as a project site for a new job Moko is being considered for. She explains that it will be a good chance for the children to get a holiday and for Moko to get some work done. The children Wako, Ano, and Nina are excited about the trip and thank Moko and Morin for the opportunity. At the resort, Moko unexpectedly runs into Ace's aunt Erna. He learns that Ace's father Nanang had a choice to leave Ace with Erna but instead chose to leave her with Moko. This revelation plants a seed of doubt in Moko's mind about Nanang's intentions. Moko's new job opportunity is a chance to design a family resort. He is told by his brother-in-law Eka that he must work hard and that the idea of work-life balance is for lazy people. Eka dismisses Moko's concerns about the children, stating that he and Osa will take care of them and that it will be good for them to have parental figures again. He also suggests that Moko should not feel responsible for Ace as she is not a blood relative and even offers to talk to her aunt about taking her back. Moko is conflicted but he accepts the job and begins his work. He soon starts receiving calls from EKA who constantly asks for more money for what he claims are household repairs, new clothes for OSA and outings for the kids. Moko, feeling responsible, sends the money. Morin becomes suspicious of the constant requests for money and questions Moko. She reminds him that he has already set a budget for the children's basic needs and that he shouldn't be paying for their lifestyles. She tells him that his family is taking advantage of his kindness and that he shouldn't feel burdened by them. Moko defends them, saying he doesn't see them as a burden and that he loves his family. As Moko prepares for a presentation to his boss Mr. Sam and the resort's owner Mr. Albert, he is unaware of the full extent of Aka's deception. During the presentation, Moko passionately defends his design, arguing that a family resort's true purpose is to foster family togetherness, which he learned from his own experience. Mr. Albert, who initially criticizes his design as too large and impractical, eventually agrees with Moko's vision. He reveals that Moko's design is similar to his own first failed project, but he now sees the potential in Moko's unique perspective and offers him the job. As Moko settles into his new role, he visits Ace, who is now living with her aunt Erna, to check on her. Ace tearfully reveals that she has not heard from her father and that she believes she is a burden to everyone she lives with, from her parents to Moko and now her aunt. She explains that she overheard her parents fighting and neither of them wanted to take care of her. This deeply affects Moko, who, upon hearing from Wako that EKA has put all the children to work, decides to confront his brother-in-law. Moko drives to Jakarta and learns the full extent of Aka's betrayal. EKA, who had been lying to Moko and the children, had taken all the money Moko sent and invested it in a fraudulent scheme. He had manipulated the children into getting jobs by telling them they were a burden to Moko, which he later uses as an excuse to run off with the money. Moko finds Anna working at a construction site, Wako at a photocopy shop, and Nina at a restaurant where she's forced to be rude to customers. He brings them all home and confronts his sister OSA about Aka's actions. OSA is in denial, believing Aka's investment will pay off, but Moko reveals the truth: the money is gone and EKA has fled. The family, including Morin, gathers to discuss the situation. Nina, who is still hurt by Aka's words, insists that they are a burden to Moko. This leads to a tearful and heartfelt confrontation where Moko explains that they are not a burden. He reminds them of their shared love and kindness and that their family bond is more important than money. Morin and Moko argue about whether the children should work. Morin suggests that working is not bad but that they shouldn't feel indebted to Moko for it. She also reveals her desire to be a part of their lives, and Moko, realizing how much Morin loves him and the children, agrees that they can all do this together. The film concludes with the family healing and coming back together. The final scene shows Moko presenting his new architectural design to a client, explaining that his personal experience has taught him that knocking down walls and creating open spaces allows for families to be closer and build stronger memories. He's at peace, having found a way to balance his career with his family responsibilities. He has a new home that he shares with the children and Morin. The film ends with a sense of hope and a new beginning as Moko and his family learn to rely on each other and support each other's dreams. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.